I had that thought too. I had that thought too.
Oh, please let that happen. Imagine all the blood loss over there.
Ugh. Right? If he actually got an erection, he would die because the blood would just drain out of his body. It would just all be there. Ew.
Hello and welcome to the Lunchbox's review of season 2 of The Boys. We are doing episode 6. Today I'm joined by Alex and Michelle, and we're going to start right away because there is a lot to unpack in this episode. So we're going to start off with the revelation of kind of Frenchie's origin, and we also have why he also really hates Lamplighter and that reveal. Let's get on it. Michelle, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to say they weren't happy to kind of get more backstory because it had been hinted that the boys had a run-in with Lamplighter, as we said. I think last week we had talked about that a little bit. And we knew that there had been the death of children involved in that. And now we kind of understand the story of why Lamplighter didn't necessarily try to kill kids, but why he did end up killing children. And we got to see Frenchie kind of come face to face with Lamplighter and them kind of work through why the situation played out the way it did. And I thought that was really cool because so far we have seen a lot of the Supes portrayed as like they're purposely evil, like they do bad things and they don't care. And this was one of those times where we'd actually seen a Supe do something horrible and feel really horrible about it. So we got to see that kind of played out with Lamplighter feeling like this guilt over killing the children when he intended to kill their mom, which is bad, but he hadn't intentionally tried to kill innocent children. And I thought that was amazing. I really felt for Frenchie in kind of his like guilt that he felt over the situation because he went to help his friend who was dying of an overdose and kind of missed Lamplighter escaping. So by trying to save somebody, he kind of, in his mind, led to the death of other people. And is especially tragic because his friend died anyways later on. And that really because I was curious because they had kind of said, oh yeah, and then I saved him. And I was like, then where is this friend that we've not seen at all? And then Frenchie revealed that he actually died a couple months later. And that broke me. I feel bad for Frenchie. I really feel bad for him.
Well, like you said, this episode's pretty packed. I'd say it's packed tighter than Love Sausage's pants.
Oh!
I was holding on to that one for a while. Okay. With that said, let's talk Lamplighter. So he comes on the scene with like a getup that looks reminiscent of Green Arrow from the TV show. You know, kind of neat, but still gets made fun of by the boys. And the really, really interesting thing is like the whole Shawn Ashmore aspect where he's using the lighter exactly the same way Pyro from the X-Men use it. I was just like, I'd consider he was Iceman. It was just too much for my nerd self to handle. But in terms of them butting heads, it really, it was something for both characters to overcome. And Michelle covered everything. I just really look forward to what Lamplighter, what else he has to offer, because it seems like he's going to be teaming with the boys for now. I don't see that going particularly well for him, considering he has like a death wish and everything. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting couple of episodes that we have left.
2 episodes left
in the mix. 2 episodes.
I like that Frenchie finally let go, because it seems like even with the Kimiko stuff, it's like he's holding on to something. There's something he wants to definitely let go. And then this episode showed that he had so much inside him that just like nobody knew. Like nobody knew that he was gonna go. He was actually trying to save his friend. Even MM was like, dude, we would have, forgave you for it. You were kind of saving somebody. I like that like Michelle said, not all superheroes are just kind of assholes in this world, where they actually feel bad if they do something. And the fact that Lamplighter is another Supe in their kind of little gang to help them, because the way it looks, they're gonna need everybody like hands on deck to kind of deal with the superhero love team of Stormlander. Stormlander, is that what we called it, right? Stormlander?
Homefront.
Homefront, sorry. I meant Homefront.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that there was more backstory to Frenchie, and we also get to see how like Lamplighter didn't really want to do what he was there for a mission, and then he regretted everything to the death of the children, where when Mallory came, he was just like, go ahead, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm mad at myself. I want to share this with you guys. I'm mad at myself, and I feel like you guys should be mad too, because I feel like if we hadn't talked so much about Shawn Ashmore being Lamplighter, the reveal in the hospital of Frenchie realizing it was Lamplighter would have been way more impactful upon viewing. Yeah. I was like mad at myself. I was like, shit, I wish I hadn't known that, because then we would have really like felt more for Frenchie that he was coming face to face with Lamplighter, because we already knew he was going to. And I'm a little mad that I Wikipedia'd who was who. So I'm like, we need to not talk about anyone else who's been cast as anything else, and just try not to avoid spoiling anything. Because
the only other person we talked about was Jensen Ackles, and I'm pretty confident that like him and Stormfront have probably butt heads in the past, and we're probably gonna get some more of that in the next season. So after that, no more.
Yeah, that's the lesson learned. Don't do it.
Yeah. And don't worry, Michelle, you're not the only one. Everything I see, I usually go on IMDb or like IMDb and like Wikipedia to just check out everything.
Yeah.
Well then,
the internet's too powerful.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on, we're gonna go to a big reveal, which is Stormfront actually revealing that she was born in 2019. Oh wait, sorry, 2019.
She's a year old.
She's 100 years old, is what I am trying to say. So, what did you guys think about this reveal? We kind of had this debate whether it would have been a daughter or her not aging. How do you guys feel now that we have it confirmed that she is Liberty?
Well, my prediction completely wrong. I had it wrong. I thought Stormfront was going to be like a daughter of the legacy heroes, etc. Especially when they showed the picture of her with the older lady. I thought it was like, oh, that's her mother, but no, that's actually Stormfront's daughter. Stormfront's a lot older than she looks, and somehow still, has like modern day lingo. Like she, it's pretty funny how like a lot of her personality is very up to date. Meanwhile, her prejudices are still like really in the past. I think it makes sense. It suits the character considering like the white nationalist, portrayal she's had, and it's when someone's a Nazi, like a literal Nazi, I feel it's kind of cheap, because it's like, hey, look, can't get worse than a Nazi, but like they did go there. It's I hope that it'll at least reveal some more stuff about Vought, because he was entangled in that whole thing. So I suppose the whole creation of superheroes was more for like the Third Reich ideal, and well, they have it with Homelander, who's being convinced apparently by Stormfront. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I made a really solid prediction, but I was kind of like, oh, maybe she's just old. Like, so I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, though. I mean, as of last episode, Alex had me convinced. I was like, yeah, it's a mom-daughter thing for sure. So I feel like that was a really intentional choice that they did. So they kind of threw us off. I think that really was on purpose, especially for the reveal to be the daughter. I thought that was really awesome, because obviously we'd all paid attention to it being potentially the mom, and then it wasn't, and da-da-da. So I thought that was really great. Then it leads me to the question, like, if she's a Nazi and like all those ideals, then she'd also kind of come to blows with Maeve for being gay, lesbian, well, bisexual, as she actually is, or however Vought tries to, portray her. So that would mean that could kind of be the reasoning for the blows that we see them come to in the trailer, I think that Lou had pointed out. So there's that. So now it's just she has a reason, like, to hate everyone more. Yeah.
I was pretty much going with Alex's prediction until that little scene I was talking about with A-Train, where she was just that was low-key racist right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was still like, I was confused, and now I am glad that my prediction is correct. But yeah, so what's interesting is that they have this thing with I keep forgetting his name, Stan Edgar. Like, he's the one that set up like the institute. That means they're working together, and I'm pretty sure that Stan Edgar knows who she truly is, which makes it funny because she's straight up racist and Stan Edgar's black. So
straight up,
what's going on in this situation here where it's like everybody is playing everybody for something, right? So that was my kind of take on it.
And another thing I was thinking about, you know how Stormfront let that stuff slide with Starlight? Her name is Starlight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Starlight. Sorry, I'm thinking Starbrand from Marvel, right? Starlight, like, did she let her go because she's like blonde haired, picture perfect Nazi? Like, just makes me think.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a very different experience if she was not the way she looked. Yeah, totally.
If it was A-Train doing that.
Oh, he'd be dead for sure.
Yeah.
Very good question, actually. I think that definitely plays into it. Ooh, I hate it. Ooh, I hate it.
Right.
Yeah. I thought, I guess moving from what are they, Homefront, to kind of like the moment where when they kind of had their Homelander had his moment of anger directed towards her, I was like, oh wow, this relationship is already falling apart. She was like, what, 15 minutes later, like, I'll see you later kind of deal, and he was just like, unacceptable. And that was stressful to watch because I'm like, is he gonna just be the most unhinged because of this? But it seemed kind of that at the end with like the explanation of everything, it like ended up okay for them. Like, I don't know who's playing who at this point. Like, I really thought we would know as the viewer, like, who's pulling the strings of what, but I really don't feel like I know anything. It's very unpredictable right now, which is really exciting, actually.
It's crazy how much they kind of need each other and how she pulled him back from just going probably ballistic because he burned his own trailer. Well, what else was he going to do, right?
Yeah.
But you pulled him back, and it's interesting how maybe you're right. They're maybe sort of mind fucking each other for other things.
Yeah. I can't trust that it's a real relationship. Like, I really just can't. I can't accept that that's actually what's happening, that there's not ulterior motives. There's no way.
It is very on brand for Homelander to be that needy, though, considering his mommy issues. Like he needs like a constant nurturing, mothering, and milk all the time. But yeah.
So I guess moving on from this lovely couple, and we go to the rest of the boys. Butcher, Huey. Well, actually, it's all of the boys, right? Yeah.
They were all there.
Yes.
They go to this institute to try to figure out some things, and they find out stuff like sausages and more secrets from Vought. What do you guys think about this whole entire scene in the show?
So it's really interesting that like they're trying to weaponize regular humans, but like it kind of leaves you wondering what are the qualifications for who they choose, because like in reality, like a company like Vought would probably go straight to like the army or like some sort of mercenary group, right? And just start injecting those people with powers. But like here we see like normal everyday humans that are being injected with what is it, V serum?
Yeah, they're being injected with
Right.
compound V.
Yeah,
Compound
compound V.
Yeah.
Compound V. So yeah, it's affecting them all differently. Kind of a few of them look. Actually almost all of them are kind of crazy in their own way, right? But yeah, just to see like what is Stormfront's involvement and Stanley Edgar, right? Like why are they mixed up in this? Are they like
Absolutely,
looking to
yeah.
weaponize humans to like some sort of race war? It's a good question because I'm pretty sure everyone in there was white.
I was literally just thinking about that. I was like trying to remember who we saw, and potentially yes. The only
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were mostly white.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the acid person was fully white. I'm not sure.
That was gross.
Yeah, I'm trying because like honestly, like their face got a little janky, so I couldn't really.
They really focused on that face.
Yeah, that was really disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, Love Sausage seems like he's Russian. I could hear the accent when he was talking earlier.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's a character from the comics as well.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Does he have the same power in the comics?
And he's called Love Sausage, isn't he? What's he called? He's called something like that, right?
He's called Love Sausage. Yeah. I don't know his powers. I don't know. I didn't get that far to see if it wrap around someone's neck. That was intense. Yeah. He's got to live with that shame.
Too funny. I really liked pretty much all the scenes that happened within Sage Grove Center, I think it's called, because always my complaint with like superhero related things is that we don't get to see a wide array of powers. It's very like the same types of powers all the time. You always have like this person, that person, whatever. With any like large group of people, it's always exciting to see the array of powers, and I thought that was the case here. And like obviously there were some weird ones, like our friend Love Sausage. And I just thought it was really cool that we got to see kind of the differences, because they had kind of, I forget who said it, if it was Lamplighter who said it, that when they do inject the adults, like you're either, their head's gonna explode, then you get a shitty power, or like something else. And I guess we're seeing the something else, like the potential powers and how some are garbage. So I thought that was really, really cool. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, because this was something I didn't realize. I didn't know that Starlight had to charge her power through tech.
I didn't.
This is the first time this has ever been like
this episode.
So that was disappointing as hell, because like she is not that powerful now. Put her in a field, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So, yeah, especially like when we see like a pyro who needs a lighter, it's always okay. They are still kind of constrained by their physical space, right? The Deep can't do anything not in water. Starlight can't do anything without like tech or power near her. Yet, what is it that Homelander and well, I was gonna call her Homefront. My God, Stormfront. Like, where's their power coming from, and can we remove that element from them? Like, is Stormfront's power the sky, the storm? I don't know. So it again kind of reinforced to me how powerful they are, that we can't see what feeds their power.
Yeah, you know, that whole scene reminded me of if you've seen the movie Cabin in the Woods, where all the horror creatures just break out and start killing all the guards. It was just like that, really cool. Like you mentioned, like all the superpowers were really neat to see. And there was one escapee who had no name, but like the gnarliest power of just making people explode.
Cindy.
Cindy, I was like, she had a name.
There you go.
Just like a normal name. She had very like Evil 11 vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. She's Teenage 11.
Yeah. She kind of had like her explodey bits reminded me of like Dr. Manhattan, just not like the blue, but like he kind of had that like explodey.
Yeah.
And I liked that, which was cool. And I think the guy outside was a wind power. I couldn't tell what his sonic force was, but he had something.
But there was someone whose head exploded. I forgot her name. The federal agent.
Yeah.
I don't know if those two are, connected, but like that's what I was thinking.
That's a good call out.
Right?
It does make sense the way other heads exploded.
Yeah.
Oh, so if they like took Cindy out and was like, "Hey, explode that head."
Yeah.
That's right.
Ooh, that's really good point. I literally didn't think about that at all, and now that like has my brain churning.
Which means Stan Edgar knows more than he leads on, because how did he know that was going to happen right there and have Cindy right there at that same time popping heads, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
yeah, I really liked everything in that in the scene in the institute, because it shows you they're still doing some crazy ass shit by giving this time the powers to adults. And to go back to what Alex was saying earlier, I think just by looking at the other inmates or the other people in there, I think they're like either homeless people or people with drug problems just by looking at their faces.
Yeah.
And some addicted to maybe too much masturbation because of their extremely Reed
The
Richards.
effort it would take for that thing. Ugh.
Imagine all the blood loss over there.
Ugh. Right? If he actually got an erection, he would die because the blood would just drain out of his body. It would just all be there. Ew. This is so, I hate it. It's so gross. Though I actually do think as well, just like on the where they get these people, because with the guy that they lit on fire, they'd mentioned that he couldn't go see his family because he'd been committed because he was suicidal. So I also do think it's like a mental health thing as well. So getting people with like in crisis and then doing this to them, which is like, I feel like a not great idea in general. If they're pulling from any group of people like who are struggling with mental health problems, yeah, let's give them superpowers. I'm sure they'll be able to handle that. Probably not. And like, or drug addicts, probably not either. Just anyone who's struggling, probably don't give them superpowers.
Yeah, just by looking at Cindy alone, she looks like she's, not all there. Like she's ready to crack any second.
She's an angry lady.
That's how they probably like their subjects. This time we go on to the outside of the institute with Starlight, Butcher, and Huey. Oh, poor useless Huey.
Yikes.
So the dude with I don't know what powers he had, like wind or something, blew everyone, and then the van sort of flipped, and that's when Huey got stabbed in the stomach. It was great to see that someone almost dying can bring two people together in friendship, at least as they cared for a common person, which Butcher looks to Huey as his kind of Lenny, his brother, and then Starlight clearly still feels for him. It was great that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but she killed that guy, right?
See, I was debating that as well because like I didn't know for sure if she killed him, because the moment where she like went and checked on him, she inhaled. So she did she exhaled. This is, I had a whole trip about this. I had to pause it and I had to listen to it, because when she goes and check on him, she exhales, like she sighs. Whereas I feel like if you were to check on somebody and be like, oh no, it's an inhale, it'd be like, as opposed to, do you know what I mean? Because it's an audible sound that she made in that moment, and it was a sigh. It was an exhale. So I think she didn't kill him, but I don't know.
There was a lot
I don't know if
blood.
there was blood though. There was blood, right?
There was a lot coming out from the back of his head.
So either
or. So it's.
If he's not dead yet, he may be dead soon.
Somebody confirm this for us,
please.
But yeah, so because of that, Starlight kind of saved Butcher by killing that dude, and I guess this is as weird as it is. She finally got through to Butcher to kind of respect her, not just because Butcher just hates soups. It doesn't matter who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So finally, a soup saves his life, and I guess that's what it takes for him to even show a bit of respect. And they even made fun of Huey later on in the hospital, talking about his shampoo. Now he wipes his butt with some cream or whatever because there's rashes.
That's
the guy.
Yeah.
He's having a time. Got butt rashes, and then he got stabbed by a thing in a van.
What'd you
And
guys
the
think
Axe
of
body
that?
spray.
And the Axe
Gross,
body
yeah.
spray. The L'Oreal shampoo and the Axe body spray.
Product placement. Don't use those things unless you're weird like Huey. That's like the worst product placement. They're making fun of a character for using something.
How'd you guys feel about those series of events?
Well, I'll start. I think it was crucial to give like those two characters some sort of mutual understanding, and I think the understanding is that like our love for Huey, like we do this because we don't deserve him, and like we're doing this for people like Huey who like they have no one else to help them, but we're here because like Huey's form of self-help is like ass rash cream and you know and the rest. So like Huey's clearly in need. That's why he's always attached to people, and Starlight and Butcher, they're going to be there for them, for him, and it's good to see that like Butcher has come to like an understanding of Starlight, that like she is like
She's for real.
yeah, exactly. She's not like the rest of the seven. She's she's not motivated by the same things they're motivated by.
No, I can't say anymore. I agree with everything you guys have said. I thought it was good. And I'm excited to see where the Starlight and Butcher relationship goes, because I would love to see them make fun of Huey to Huey's face.
This time wide awake.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would just be a really funny kind of light moment that they could add in, that again would kind of cement their like tentative friendship, I guess I would use the words of.
So moving on from that, another kind of important reveal in this episode was the GoPro that the Deep found for Queen Maeve, and it shows that what happened during the plane when they pretty much were responsible for the death of everyone on that plane. And so the Queen Maeve is going to use this as leverage against Homelander, which may not be the smartest thing, but it's the only thing she can do right now to help. I guess it's to help Elena. What do you guys think of that?
I'm nervous for Maeve. Like, I want to think that would be helpful to her, but I know that sending Homelander into the rage wouldn't help.
They do respond well to blackmail though. like Stormfront, Stan Edgar. Like blackmail is like the one thing that's like worked on all of them so far. Like I think it might and might not work. I mean, I have a prediction for this one for Queen Maeve, but we'll get to that one soon.
And I guess the last thing we're going to talk about, just it's not a big deal, I guess, in this episode, but it's A-Train maybe joining the church. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I don't know how this is going to play out, but it seems like they will still find a way to get A-Train and the Deep to kind of help. And this time with Queen Maeve, the Deep, Lamplighter are going to get on the boys' side, because some shit is going to go down, because we have 2 episodes left, and I'm kind of excited what's going to happen. Yeah. What do you guys think about the A-Train might be doing that?
I hope it's setting up for a big reveal in the final 2 episodes that has to do with the church, because it's felt like a very like on the fringes story throughout this entire season with the Deep. And I'll be disappointed if it doesn't kind of like come to a big like resolve at the end, though I also feel like it could be setting up for a 3rd season as well, because it feels like between the Church of the Collective and everything with Homefront, there's a lot to pack into the final 2 episodes. So I'm not sure.
I mean, it could be just setting little seeds for the Church of the Collective being the main villain for season 3, right? I think that might happen.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the weird thing about the whole Church of the Collective thing in this episode was that in the previous episodes, it was just like a running gag. Every single episode was just a way to make fun of the deep or to make fun of Scientology, and it kept going this way. But like suddenly this episode, we're taking it seriously. So that was just a weird turn. And like you both said, I hope it's a turn towards something major in the last 2 episodes. Well, like we'll have to see where it goes, because so far it's been pretty minor, but like it is picking up some steam in terms of like a subplot that might go somewhere.
Yeah, because the small fact that they knew everything about A-Train. I mean,
Right,
I'm
right.
pretty sure that he didn't get that from the deep. They have their ways too, right, of knowing these things. So they're probably more powerful than we think they are, instead of just being kind of a joke thing.
Yeah. Have they been making their own soups the whole time too? Like, how connected are they? Ooh.
All right, so I guess it's time to go to predictions. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'd like to raise a question that, like, still on the church thing. Like, if the deep got that GoPro footage, don't you think the church really would have wanted that instead of, you know, giving it away to Maeve?
Maybe they copied it.
Right? Okay, so that's like a semi-prediction.
Or the deep's desire to be back in the 7 is what made him just give it to me instead of like the church. But this creates a bunch of questions, which is kind of really interesting. This is gonna be a crazy prediction. It might be way off. I'm thinking I'm way off, but it's really nasty, because what if Stormfront is also Homelander's mother?
I had that thought too.
Oh, please let that happen. Please.
One scene at the very end of the episode where she's kind of pouring her heart out is something along the lines of, she said something that you are everything we hope you would be.
Yep.
And also this Homelander's just need for a mother figure, which
it would make all the sense in the world. You're
to
absolutely
me, it
right.
makes sense, but I could also be way off. But what do you guys think, and what are your predictions?
Oh God. Let me start off with Queen Maeve. I think she's going to approach Homelander probably in the next episode about the footage. Homelander won't do anything, but I think that's what sparks the confrontation between Maeve and Stormfront, who is going to step in to try to do something for Homelander. And it'll get ugly. No predictions for that one. But yeah, I think that fight is brewing, and I think that's a reason. And another thing, judging by how Starlight's powers work, I think Stormfront is going to supercharge Starlight in like a fight. I think that's going to work. You know, that electricity is just going to juice.
By accident or by...
Yes, by accident. Like Avengers 1, where Thor throws that lightning bolt at Iron Man and it just supercharges him. Like I have a feeling that's going to happen. Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I'm trying to think if I have any like fresh predictions, because everything you're saying so far, both of you, I'm like, yeah, totally, I agree. I feel like we haven't seen enough Kimiko, and like she was obviously in this past episode, but I feel like we're gonna go back to what she wants to do and kind of the plan with her getting the revenge that she still wants, obviously. And I feel like she might be kind of, I don't know, like the boys might come up with some type of plan, and she's going to be like the linchpin of that plan. Like she's going to be like, and then we throw in you. So it's going to be something of that nature, where it's going to really like depend on her being in control enough of herself and her emotions in that moment to like do the plan the way it's supposed to be executed, and not pull like a Star-Lord, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
It's kind of cool that also how Butcher is gonna plan things with a couple of soups in his pocket. So that'd be interesting, kind of strategy wise.
He's got 3. Yeah.
He's got 3. Yeah. He's technically got 3. Yeah. Actually, See, this is why sometimes trailers ruin us
Uh-oh.
because they do
Yeah.
go on
What'd
a
you
mission
see?
with Lamplighter.
I saw it. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I have to say another cool thing that they showed in this episode, part of Frenchie's origin, where it turns out he's like this like evil genius when it comes
He's a
to
soup
stopping. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those brilliant plans, and they've worked. Like, wow, of course he would get hired by Mallory to put a stop to the 7.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna go back to the roots of just trying to kill a soup. Like, let's plan to kill Homelander. What does that look like? How do we defeat him? Because especially with that mention of, I forget who it was that, like, if the name of the soup that he had dealt with when Mallory hired him, but he's like, oh, a soup that runs on anger, just like remove the emotion or whatever it was that it had said. It was like brilliant. And like, we saw everything that he did with Translucent. So when are we going to see that kind of like brilliant piece again? I know they tried in Sage Grove where he like built the bomb and that just didn't go great at all. But I think we could see a little bit more planning, hopefully, for the boys, because that's not their strong suit.
He's kind of like a poor man's Forge, kind of.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Okay, actually, now that we're getting so close to the end, I would like to hear predictions on who you think will die, because I'm sure someone's gonna die, because it's the boys. Who do we think's gonna die?
Why don't we save that for the penultimate video of ours so that like we can actually sit there? Well, I personally, so I can sit down, because that's really interesting thing. Like,
yeah,
like
so for the last episode to figure, yeah, fair. I just feel like the last two are going to be so much that it might happen next episode. Do you know what I mean? So that's why.
Yes.
But that's fair too.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm going to say that Lamplighter's not living through the next episode. That's
no way.
My guess. Yeah.
You can't have someone asked to die that many times and then continue living. It's not a thing. Though I do think he might go out in like some type of sacrificial way. Like he might try to protect somebody. Like I'd love to see a moment of him like throwing himself in front of like Butcher, because I just think that could be like really, really powerful.
Well, the way if we are gonna predict somebody dying in the next episode, there is nobody more prepared to die right now than Lamplighter. He pretty much asked to be killed off in this episode. So if somebody were to die next episode, then Lamplighter is going to die next episode. And that is it for our episode 6 recap. Once again, I'm joined by Michelle and Alex. Let us know what you thought of the episode, what you thought of the giant stretching penis. You can check out the rest of our social medias down below, and we promise you we're gonna try and get more podcast content other than just our recaps. And that's it. See you next week. Peace.
Bye.